This is the examination of the hidden human condition.
You're listening to the Hidden Killers Podcast.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski.
We're talking with Robin Greek right now, Hidden Killers Daily contributor, chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, retired FBI. Robin, let's go into Rex Heman here and the twisted world that we now are trying to decipher with the former chief of police, James Burke, in Suffolk County, Long Island. There's so many new caveats and twists and turns and potential cover-up and potential, I don't know, I mean, I hesitate to say involvement, but I don't know, this thing, the layers of the onion continue to peel back. When we look back on this, and I've seen some of the interviews, TMZ just released an interesting documentary about it on Hulu with some interviews that were quite shocking. One of the friends of one of the victims recalling how he went to the Suffolk County Police, described the avalanche that his friend got into with Heuermann. He described Heuermann being the ogre-like character, overbearing, big, and down to a T, pretty much what it was. Had a simple search been done for vehicles that match that description, and then the driver that may fit the rather large ogre-like character that Heuermann is, maybe he could have been a person of interest 10, 11 years ago. With these things, when they're overlooked to that level of obviousness, and granted, we're talking all these years later, is there ever repercussions for things like that to someone like Burke, who clearly was derelict in his job?
That's a great question. You know, can you prosecute someone for dereliction of their job? We just saw the school resource officer down in Florida.
Yep.
They attempted that, and no. Yeah. Unfortunately, you could. I don't know the law enough to know whether you could bring civil suit against him or not. The victims, it'd be really tough to do that, I would think. But again, I've said this numerous times in my life, just because something's unethical doesn't mean it's illegal.
Sure.
And he was clearly hiding his own shame. It was impacting a lot of. So here's the big question in my mind: what other cases?
100%. Now we know about Heuermann. There's a new command in there that's reevaluating some of these cases. There was a hell of a lot more bodies on that beach, and that's just that beach. And Heuermann's only connected to 3, possibly 4 of them. Could likely be more, but a lot of them, sex workers. And if you're frequenting that circle and you're the chief of police, you probably don't necessarily want to go in there and necessarily ruffle any feathers in that community as the chief of police, because your name may be brought up in ways that are not necessarily connected to fighting crime, but more so being part of it themselves.
This could be a really good break because, before this breaking news happened on the Suffolk chief being arrested, we were kind of scratching our heads saying, all right, they're saying we got all these other dead bodies that look like they may be serial killers. Doesn't really fit the Gilgo Beach guy. I mean, we're like, what is going on that, how come we're just learning all about this now? We might have just scratched the tip of that iceberg that figured out why.
Yeah. I think we may be there, and I'm curious to know what else the chief of police knew and when and who.
Yeah, so all the cases that were conducted and all the things that happened during his watch need to be re-examined, hands down.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast
with Tony Brueski.